You weren't supposed to find this place. Not the village, not the crooked gate, and definitely not the rusted key sitting in the hollow of the stone wall, waiting for hands like yours. But you touched it anyway, and now it's too late. Let me be clear. Once you know the Holloway name, you don't unknow it. It sticks to you, the way a shadow will follow, even when there's no light to cast it. The Holloways weren't just a family. They were an infection in human skin. The kind of bloodline that left no burial without a secret, no child without a curse. Do you think I'm exaggerating? I wish I was. The first Holloway house still stands. It shouldn't. It's older than the road it sits on. Older than the church across the field whose bells haven't rung since the night they buried 6 without coffins. The bricks are black with a film you can't scrub away, no matter how many storms have beaten against it. People say the walls were once white. They also say the walls sometimes breathe. But here's the truth you won't hear from drunken pub tales. The Holloways didn't just live there, they fed it. You see, there are 2 kinds of curses. The kind the living speak into being. Whispers of revenge, tokens buried in the earth. And the kind that start in the bones. Passed like a disease from father to daughter, mother to son, festering deeper with each generation. The Holloway curse was both. The first time it surfaced was 1786. A child was born without eyes, but still cried in a voice that sounded like it came from far underground. The midwife, the only one willing to attend the birth, swore the room smelled like rotting leaves and river mud. She was dead within a week. The baby survived for 17 years. Nobody saw it leave the house, but they all heard it when it died. And that was just the start. By the 1840s, Holloway men were vanishing in the fields, their boots found neatly placed at the edge of the property, as if they'd stepped clean out of the world. The women, they lasted longer, but each one eventually locked herself away, covering every mirror, refusing to eat anything that wasn't prepared in silence. This is where you come in. If you're still holding that key, you've already made the first mistake every Holloway descendant made. You accepted the invitation. That key doesn't open a door. It opens the house's attention. You're not the one exploring it. It's the one exploring you. I'll give you one last chance. Throw it into the river, walk away, and forget you ever heard the name Holloway. But I know you won't. You shouldn't have come this far. But since you're here, we might as well get it over with. The path to the Holloway house isn't really a path, more like a scar across the land. The grass grows too tall on either side, bending inward, whispering against your coat like it's trying to stop you. Or maybe it's urging you forward. Hard to tell with things like this. When the front door appears, it doesn't appear the way normal houses do. It's not part of the building yet, not until you're close enough for your shadow to touch it. And when it does form, you'll notice the carvings. Not flowers, not vines, not anything you could name. They look wrong. Like someone tried to draw faces but forgot how humans are supposed to look. The key is warm in your pocket now. It shouldn't be. I should tell you one thing before you put it in the lock. The Holloways didn't build this house on land. They built it on a wound. The earth here never healed from what happened before the first brick was laid. That's why things grow strangely. That's why the air feels thick, like you're breathing through wet cloth. And that's why when you turn that key, the sound won't be metal on metal. It'll be bone against bone. You step inside, and the first thing you notice is the smell. Not decay, not dust. Something sweet, like fruit that's just past ripeness. Like it wants to rot but isn't allowed to. The floorboards creak, but not under your weight. They creak ahead of you, as if someone else is walking just one step in front. There's a mirror by the door, and of course you look. You shouldn't. Your reflection stands there perfectly still. But it's not breathing when you are, and its lips are moving in shapes your ears can't hear. That's the Holloway way. The first lie is in the glass. In the hallway, the walls are too close, pressing in. The paint peels in long curling strips, revealing another layer beneath. Handwritten words in a language you don't know, blackened with age, still wet to the touch. You pull your hand away, but the letters cling to your skin, tiny and crawling. They vanish before you can scream. You haven't even reached the stairs yet, and already the house knows your pulse. It's learning the rhythm. It's matching it. Now listen closely. This is where most people turn back. But you, I think you'll make it further. Upstairs. That's where they kept her. The last Holloway woman. The one who lived here 50 years without stepping outside. I'll tell you her name when we're at the door. Names have weight here, and if I say it now, the walls will hear us. So go ahead, one step at a time. The stairs groan like they resent the weight. You can feel the house paying attention now, not with eyes, but with pressure, the way a storm watches the shoreline before it arrives. Halfway up, there's a picture frame nailed to the wall. The photograph inside is old enough that the paper has yellowed and curled, but you can still see the face. It's a woman. Black dress, black veil, and a smile that's almost gentle, except the longer you stare, the more it feels like she's smiling at you, not whoever took the picture. The caption says, M. Holloway, 1901, no death date. You try to move on, but the sound follows you, not footsteps, breathing. It's slow, patient, as if it's not winded by the climb you're making. At the top of the stairs, the hallway stretches too far. You can't remember the house being this big from outside. A door at the end seems to pulse with a dull red glow that doesn't light the walls around it. That's her room. You know it without needing to be told. The air changes here. It's heavier, not hot, not cold, thick, like it's pressing your blood back into your veins. And that's when you realize there are no windows upstairs. Not one, just the wallpaper, pale and peeling, patterned with black roses. You stop outside the door. The wood is so dark it swallows the hallway's faint light. And now, I can tell you her name. Margaret Holloway. Widow, recluse, the last breathing branch of the Holloway bloodline. She wore black every day for 50 years and never left this room, not once. Some say her husband died in the fields, boots placed neatly at the property line. Others whisper that he came back just not the same. And she locked the door to keep him from taking her too. You grip the doorknob. It's warm, like the key was. Something shifts on the other side. A slow drag of fabric against wood. The door isn't locked. It's waiting. You push it open. At first you see nothing but shadows, heavy and layered, like they've been piling up for decades. But then the shadows move, peeling away from the corner until you see her, sitting in a chair, veil covering her face, hands folded neatly in her lap. She tilts her head, just slightly, and you hear her voice, not from her mouth but from the room itself. You took the key. You want to answer her, but the air in the room tastes wrong, metallic, like a coin pressed against your tongue. Every breath feels borrowed. The veil shifts as she moves her head, and you think you see her eyes through the fabric, not old, not cloudy with age, too clear, like they've been waiting for something to wake them. You took the key, she says again, but slower this time, almost pleased. You nod because your voice doesn't seem to work. The chair creaks as she leans forward. The veil brushes her knees, revealing a thin line of jaw, pale, bloodless. They don't give that key to strangers. You try to speak, to explain that you found it, that nobody gave you anything, but she interrupts with a sound that might be a laugh. It's sharp, brittle, like glass breaking in another room. Then it gave itself to you. She stands. The movement is wrong, no hesitation, no weakness, as though her body isn't as fragile as it looks. She glides toward you, each step making the floorboards groan in protest. This house doesn't like outsiders, she murmurs. But you aren't one anymore, are you? You came in, you touched the walls. You let it know your weight, your breath, your heartbeat. Her hand lifts, gloved in black silk. She points at your chest. It's in there now. The words settle heavy inside you. The scent of overripe fruit intensifies, crawling into your lungs. The Holloway name is not a family, she says. It's a chain. We don't pass it down through blood alone. We pass it down through the house. And now, you've been invited. You try to take a step back, but the doorway is gone. You turn, nothing but wall where the hall should be. Wallpaper roses staring in every direction. I stayed because I had to, she continues. Because leaving is worse. Out there it follows you. In here, it just keeps you. She leans close. The veil almost touches your face. You'll see him soon. You ask, who? Though your voice is a whisper you barely recognize. My husband, she says. He still walks the upstairs hall. He never forgave me for locking him out. And he doesn't like new Holloways. Somewhere behind you, a floorboard moans under the weight of something heavy. The sound behind you isn't footsteps at first, it's heavier, a dragging weight, as though something enormous is being pulled across the boards. The smell changes again. Not rot, but damp earth, like a grave opened before it's ready. Margaret doesn't turn. She just straightens, tilts her head toward the sound and says, "You should kneel." You don't. You can't. Your legs feel rooted to the spot, muscles trembling, your heartbeat pounding so hard you hear it in your ears. The breathing starts next, slow, deliberate, as though each inhale is measuring the air, tasting it. The drag stops just behind you. You want to look. Every instinct tells you not to. "He doesn't like to be stared at," Margaret says. Her voice is calm, but there's a sharp undertone now, like she's speaking to both of you at once. The silence that follows is too long. Your skin prickles as the air shifts. Not a breeze, not a draft, but a pulling, like something is leaning close enough to drink the warmth off your skin. Then you hear it, a whisper. Not in your ear, but inside your head. A voice that's deep, rasped, raw, and yet unmistakably human. You have her smell. A shadow passes along the wall beside you, too large to be cast by a person. It moves in sections like whatever is making it isn't built the way a body should be. Margaret's tone sharpens. "Go back to the hall." The floor groans. The dragging resumes, retreating toward the darkness beyond the invisible doorway, but not quickly. As it moves away, you hear a wet, scraping sound, like nails or teeth running along the wood. Margaret exhales. "He won't touch you tonight," she says, almost to herself. Then louder, "But the house doesn't let go, and neither will he." You find your voice just enough to ask what she means. Her head turns toward you again, veil rustling. "You can leave if you want, but you'll take the Holloway name with you, and he'll come to collect." She gestures to the far wall. Where there should be wallpaper, there's now a narrow staircase spiraling down into pure black. "The choice is yours," she says. "Go down, or stay until you understand why I never left." You stand at the edge of the first step. It's not wood, not stone. It feels like nothing at all under your foot, as if you're stepping onto the idea of a staircase rather than a real one. Margaret stays in the room, her veil unmoving. "Down there it doesn't sleep," she says. "It never sleeps." You ask her what she means, but she only replies, "It's older than the Holloways, older than the house, older than the ground this place was built on." The black swallows the second step, the third, the fourth. By the time you're halfway down, the room above is gone. You don't even hear her breathing anymore. Something changes in the dark. You feel a subtle vibration, like the air is purring against your skin. Then beneath it, a deeper rhythm, a slow, deliberate thump that doesn't match your heartbeat. You keep going because stopping feels worse. The stair twists, narrowing, pressing your shoulders against unseen walls. Then, light, not sunlight, not candlelight. A dim red glow pulsing like it's coming from a living thing. The staircase ends in a corridor, the ceiling low enough that you have to bow your head. The walls aren't plaster or wood. They ripple faintly as though they're breathing. Your hand brushes the surface, warm, damp. It shudders under your touch. At the end of the hall is a single door, not painted, not carved, made of the same shifting, living material as the walls, but pulled taut like skin over a frame. Behind it you hear a sound like something vast moving in its sleep. Then a voice. Not Margaret's, not the husband's. Something deeper. "Come in, Holloway." The skin door twitches as though it heard itself speak. You realize you're holding the key. You don't remember taking it out, but it's in your hand. Warm, almost burning. When you press it into the door, the surface parts, not swinging open but peeling back, revealing a space too large to fit under the house. The glow inside is stronger now, and with it comes a smell, sharp, sweet, like flowers left in a closed coffin. You step forward, and the door seals shut behind you. At first it isn't a room, it's an open field, but the air is wrong, too heavy, as if you're breathing inside a lung. The sky isn't sky at all, but the same faintly pulsing red glow you saw in the hall. The ground shifts under you, soft, almost spongy. With each step, it gives way slightly, as though something is rising to meet your foot from underneath. Then you hear it again. That slow, deliberate thump. Only now, it's all around you. It isn't a heartbeat. It's the sound of something thinking. There are shapes ahead. Tall, twisting forms like trees, but each trunk is braided from hundreds of pale strands, hair-like, swaying without wind. Between them, thin threads stretch taut, catching the red light and shimmering faintly, as if coated in dew. You move closer. The threads vibrate when you pass, making a faint chime. The sound is not random. It's forming words. Your name, over and over. A whisper brushes your ear from behind. Do you want to know why you're here? You turn. No one's there. But in the place you were just standing, the ground has opened slightly, like a mouth deciding whether or not to speak. The trees, if they are trees, begin to bend toward you. The strands at their core writhe and faces emerge in them, faint, shifting. Eyes blink open, close, then vanish into the hair again. Some you recognize without ever having met them. A woman's voice drifts from the branches above. Every Holloway left something here. A promise, a debt, a piece of themselves. That's why the house still stands. That's why you can't leave. The chimes grow louder. More threads begin to hum, weaving your name into something longer. A phrase you can almost make out. And then you do. You're next. The sound isn't just in your ears anymore. It's inside you, curling around your thoughts, pressing against the back of your eyes. You stagger, feeling the ground swell beneath your feet. Shapes push upward from beneath the surface, struggling to break through. Pale hands, slick with something dark, reach for your ankles. The red glow deepens, and the voice, no longer a whisper, fills the entire field. You belong to us now. The ground stops shifting. The hands sink back beneath the spongy surface, leaving only faint impressions, like someone pressing against the underside of thin fabric. In the red glow, you see something moving between the tree-like pillars. At first, it looks like a person, tall and robed. But as it steps into the open, you see it's not robed at all. It's draped in strands of hair, the same pale cords that braid the pillars. They move with a life of their own, tightening and loosening like muscle. Its face is smooth, too smooth, no mouth, no nose, only two deep hollows where the eyes should be. And yet, you know it's looking at you. The hum in the threads shifts into a single low note that makes your teeth ache. The creature tilts its head, and one of the hair strands snakes forward, curling around your wrist. The touch is warm, comforting, almost. The Holloways made a promise, it says, but not aloud. The voice is in your head, so close it feels like it's inside your own thoughts. A piece of each generation, a memory, a soul, a breath. Images flood your mind. A boy's wide, terrified eyes, a woman clutching her chest in the dark, an old man kneeling on the same spongy ground, pressing his forehead to it as if in prayer. Each of them vanishes into the red glow, leaving nothing but the echo of a scream. It is how we remain, the voice continues, and now it is your turn. The strand tightens around your wrist, and another wraps your ankle, then your waist. They don't pull you forward, not yet. Instead, they lift something into your other hand. It's small, hard, cold, a tooth, human. You don't ask whose. You know. Give us what is owed, the voice says, or the house will take it itself. The strands begin to draw you forward toward the smooth-faced figure whose hollow eyes are filling slowly with that same crimson glow. Behind you, far away, you hear the faint sound of a door opening. Margaret's voice calls your name, urgent, breaking. The figure tilts its head again. Decide. Margaret's voice is close now. Too close, considering how far the door sounded a moment ago. You turn, but she isn't standing in the field. She's inside one of the braided pillars, her face half buried in the strands, eyes wide with something that might be fear or guilt. Her mouth moves, but the sound doesn't reach you. The hum from the threads drowns it out, rising like a swarm of bees inside your skull. The figure in front of you tilts its head again, as if studying your hesitation. The hair strands cinch tighter, binding your arms to your sides. The tooth in your hand pulses faintly, as though it has its own heartbeat. You think you are choosing, the voice says, but you arrived already chosen. The crimson glow from the figure's eyes flares, and the ground beneath you splits like a rotting seam. From the gap, a single enormous thread rises, thick as your arm, slick, glistening. It curls in the air like a serpent before coiling gently around your legs. Your body goes cold. Not from fear, from recognition. The thread is alive in the way blood is alive. You can feel it reading you, learning you, memorizing every detail. You try to drop the tooth, but your fingers won't open. It's not strength holding them shut. It's that they no longer feel like your fingers. Margaret's face shifts in the pillar. Her lips form a single word. Sorry. The thread around your legs tugs, pulling you toward the smooth-faced figure. Its hollow eyes are now burning with that same slow pulse that's in the ground, in the air, in the tooth. Payment accepted, the voice says. There's no ceremony, no ritual, just the sudden, final understanding that you've stepped past the point of ever leaving. The ground seals behind you as you cross the last few feet to the figure. The hum fades into silence, but it's not a mercy. It's the silence of something that's already fed. The smooth-faced figure steps aside without touching you, and the hair strands release just enough to let you move forward on your own. You don't feel compelled. You feel carried, as though every inch of your body is being gently ushered toward whatever waits ahead. The crimson glow intensifies until the world is nothing but red and shadow. The braided pillars fall away, and you find yourself in a vast hollow chamber. The air here is thick, damp, and warm, and everywhere are the faces. They're not carved, not painted. They're grown into the walls, bulging outward in stretched impressions of human heads. Some have their eyes closed, some open, but none move. The hair strands run into their mouths, their ears, their eyes, rooting them into the chamber like grotesque flowers. You know them, you've seen them, in photographs, in faded portraits on the Holloway staircase, in the graveyard with stones so old the names are almost gone. Every Holloway who died young, every spouse who vanished, every child taken by the fever, not gone, not buried, here. The smooth-faced figure moves past you, its hair strands twitching, almost excited. It approaches a space on the wall where the hair is thin, the surface blank. A space, waiting. The tooth in your hand suddenly grows hot, unbearably hot, and before you can scream, the strands around your arms guide it toward the wall. As soon as it touches, the surface ripples like water, and a faint outline of your face begins to press forward from inside. You try to step back, but the chamber seems to tilt, pushing you toward it. Your reflection in the living wall looks older, gaunter, already half consumed by the same threads feeding into the others. Margaret's voice cuts through, trembling but steady. It doesn't hurt after the first night. You spin toward her. She's at the far side of the chamber, her body half woven into the wall. Only one arm is free, hanging limp, her skin threaded with fine white fibers. Her eyes are wet, but she doesn't blink. You stay here. The house stays alive. The town stays safe. Safe. From what? Before you can ask, the wall behind you exhales, breathes, and your face in the living surface opens its eyes. The chamber's breath isn't just air, it's a rhythm, slow, heavy, coming from below. The wall holding your half-formed face shudders, and the floor quivers with it. It's not just alive, it's a lid. Margaret watches you with a hollow patience like she's seen this moment play out dozens of times. It's always been here, she says. Before the Holloways, before the town, before the first stones were set. The floor cracks, not in a violent breaking way, but in a slow, deliberate opening. Beneath it is darkness that isn't empty. It moves, it waits. Your mind tells you it's impossible. The thing is too big, too deep. But your body already knows it's real. Threads from the walls slither toward the gap, dipping inside like feeding tubes. And then you hear it. A sound so low it's almost beneath hearing, like a whale song slowed to the pace of tectonic plates shifting. The tone slides upward, and your stomach turns as you realize it's aware of you. Margaret's voice is distant, fading. If we feed it, it sleeps. If we don't. The smooth-faced figure kneels by the gap, lowering its head until the crimson glow in its sockets touches the darkness. The air hums, not like the thread chamber hum. This is older, hungrier. Your legs weaken as the threads binding you begin to unwind, only to coil around your ankles instead. They aren't holding you back. They're leading you forward. You fight, dig in your heels, but the floor tilts again and your body tips toward the opening. The heat rising from it is wet, metallic, and wrong, like the smell of coins and rot and something that was never meant to breathe above ground. Margaret's eyes close. The wall tugs her fully inside. "Better you than all of us," she says softly. The figure's voice is inside your head now. Payment delivered. From the blackness below, something vast shifts closer, and you understand why no one leaves Holloway House and why the curse will never end. The blackness below isn't pure, it's veined with slow rivers of red light pulsing like capillaries feeding a monstrous heart. The heat thickens as something rises through it, displacing the dark like oil parting in water. You tell yourself it's impossible for an eye to be that large, for a single glistening orb to span the width of a barn. But the longer you look, the more you realize it's not even the whole eye, just the pupil. It doesn't blink. It doesn't need to. The surface shimmers, and your knees lock as a reflection blooms across that abyssal pupil. Not your face, but your inside. Memories, fears, the moments you never told anyone about, flit across it in shapes and colors that aren't human. The air in your lungs turns heavy, not from fear, from weight. Like the thing is pushing its gaze through your chest, pinning you in place without touching you. The figure beside you bows so low its hair drags in the molten red veins. Its smooth face splits slightly, revealing teeth that are far too small and numerous to belong to any mammal. "It likes you," Margaret's voice says, but not from her body. She's gone now, her face fully merged into the wall, lips barely moving as the threads twitch. The eye tilts, not physically but spatially, as if the whole chamber has shifted into the angle of its gaze. The pulsing in the red veins quickens. You realize it's not just looking, it's measuring. The threads around your ankles pulse in sync with the veins below. The sensation climbs into your calves, thighs, spine, until every nerve in your body is drumming the same beat. You understand, suddenly, why the Holloways are chosen. You're not just food. You're a conductor, a bridge between the thing in the deep and the world above. A thin, wet crack opens in the pupil, and what peers through from inside that black sphere isn't an eye at all. It's a window, a mouth, and it's smiling. The smile inside the pupil widens, though nothing moves in the black sphere. The motion is in you, muscles twitching, joints grinding, breath sinking with something far older than lungs. The red veins below flare, flooding the chamber with a light that isn't light. It moves through you, in you, etching shapes behind your eyelids that you somehow understand without learning. Symbols that don't belong to any alphabet, yet carry weight like ancient laws. The smooth-faced figure straightens. Its voice comes from nowhere and everywhere. The gate remembers its keeper. Your mind rebels. "I didn't agree to this." But the threads binding your legs now pulse in your own heartbeat, indistinguishable from your flesh. Every time you try to move, they move with you, like your own muscles betraying you. From the walls, faces emerge, not Margaret's, not entirely human, dozens of them, mouths moving in silent unison, exhaling a breath so cold it burns your teeth. Above, the ceiling groans. You think it's wood bending under strain, but the sound has an undertone, the same deep tectonic note you heard before, now joined by others. The house is answering the thing below. The floor begins to ripple, wood turning to a dark, fleshy substance beneath your feet. The boards don't break, they digest. You can feel your shoes thinning, melting into it. Margaret's voice, no longer soft, now hollow, cuts through. If you speak the name, it shows you the bond will never break. You realize the name is already there, burned into your mind by the glowing veins. It waits on your tongue like a loaded trigger. The eye, or mouth, below hums expectantly. The walls lean in, not metaphorically. They physically tilt toward you, threads lashing out to caress your arms, cheeks, lips, testing, tasting. The smooth-faced figure holds out its hand. In its palm, something black and wet writhes. You know it's meant for you. You know once you take it, you'll never leave Holloway House in any shape you'd recognize as yourself. And still, some part of you wants to take it. You clamp your mouth shut. You think that's enough. You think if you just refuse to speak, if you bite down hard enough to draw blood, You can keep the name from escaping. The thing below chuckles. It's not a sound. It's a rearranging of the space around you, a flex of gravity that makes your stomach lurch. The glowing veins in the blackness dim, then surge brighter, each pulse stabbing the inside of your skull. You feel the name pushing upward, not from your throat, but from behind your eyes, like it's trying to crawl out through your teeth. The smooth-faced figure tilts its head. In its palm, the black, writhing thing now splits open, revealing a cluster of pale fingers. They reach toward you, stroking the air, hungering for contact. From the walls, the faces scream, but there's no sound. Their mouths stretch wider and wider, and you realize they're not screaming at you. They're screaming with you, because their throats also hold the name, and they're all choking on it together. The threads around your body tighten, not violently, intimately, like a lover's hands holding you still. You can feel them mapping your bones, memorizing you. Then the house moves, not a creak, not a sway. It repositions itself. The ceiling slides lower by inches. The hallway you entered from is gone, swallowed by shifting walls that now bleed slow, syrupy rivulets. Margaret's voice, faint, as if from another world, reaches you. It will hurt more if you fight. Your chest convulses. The name bursts against your teeth. You spit blood trying to keep it in, but the sound slips out anyway. A syllable that feels like a cut in the air. The black sphere below contracts, shuddering in delight. The red veins whip into a frenzy. The writhing mass in the figure's palm drops to the floor, crawling toward your feet with insect speed. You've spoken part of it, and part is enough. The thing in the deep has heard you. The final syllable does not leave your lips. It rips itself free. It's not sound in the ordinary sense. It's an exhalation of your entire self, a vapor of memory, name, and time. You watch it drift toward the black sphere below, and when it touches the surface, it dissolves into the pupil like ink dropped in water. The smile inside it opens. The chamber reacts instantly. The walls convulse. The ceiling drops until it nearly kisses your scalp, and the red veins lash upward like the roots of an inverted tree. They pierce your skin without breaking it, threading inside your veins, replacing what was yours. You hear your heartbeat stop, and yet you remain standing. The smooth-faced figure steps forward until its blank skin is inches from your face. Its hand, still glistening with the wet black residue of the thing it offered, presses to your chest. You feel something push inward, curling around your ribs like ivy. Your thoughts scatter. You try to remember your own reflection, the smell of your own home, the sound of your voice, but each memory sloughs away, discarded like a skin you never needed. From the walls, the faces lean closer. Their eyes, lifeless before, now burn with an inner red glow. They nod, as if greeting a sibling. Margaret stands in the corner, her own face half in shadow. For the first time she smiles, not kindly, but with the satisfaction of someone who has completed a task long overdue. "The house keeps what it's owed," she whispers. Your mouth opens to respond, but the voice that comes out is not yours. It's the house speaking through you, centuries old, echoing through every board and beam. "I am Holloway." The smooth-faced figure steps back into the black sphere, which begins to recede. The veins retract, dragging your old self down into the depths. The floor hardens beneath you again, wooden, clean, as if nothing ever happened. Somewhere above, a door opens. Footsteps approach. Another visitor, another story to swallow. You smile,